Hello, hello. This is part two of this week's video series. What is human spirituality and why is it so pretentious? For all my math people out there who saw today's title and made a little tilt face, don't worry about it. We'll definitely loop today's talk back to math very soon, so do not fret. But if you do get excited by crystals and auras and church pews with good back support and box breathing and apotheosis and mishnas and koans and analects and any other number of things that we describe as spiritual, the channel is also here for you. Let me be very clear that this channel does not promote any religions or organized spiritual groups, nor does this channel obstruct, impede, or demote any religions or organized spiritual groups. A definition of spirituality I like is from the Oxford Dictionary, the quality of being concerned with the human spirit or soul, as opposed to material or physical things. Now, one key feature of spirituality that comes up when we talk about it or engage in spiritual practice is that it is abstract. And to be extra specific here, I wanted to provide a definition of abstract, which is existing in thought or as an idea, but not having a physical or concrete existence. When it comes to material things, physical things, concrete things, we interact with them in obvious ways. If I see a chair, I can sit in it and know that I'm sitting in a chair. If I want to sit into a belief, that doesn't really mean anything. Maybe it does mean something, though, if you think about it. But even if a saying like that makes perfect sense to you, you still can't describe the action of sitting in a belief the way you can describe the action of sitting in a chair. Spirituality, spiritual practice, talking about spiritual things, it is inherently abstract. When we are presented with spiritual practices, spiritual teachings, or a spiritual community, an entirely reasonable response would be to say, this is a bunch of hoo-ha nonsense and I don't care to understand it. And that's totally fine. But, 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 you get a little older, you start feeling things, connections. You start doing things that are spiritual in nature, usually by accident. And these things, they make your soul, they make your spirit feel good. You go for walks in lush woods, you commune with nature, you go out of your way to really listen to your friends and loved ones. Like that deep, compassionate listening where you don't just use your ears, but you listen with your whole body. We have these young hip practices like yoga and meditation, or these good old-fashioned practices like prayer and fasting. I think it's natural for us to get to a point in our lives where we accept that our souls, spirits, or whatever word you like, we accept that those things it's real. It's abstract and it's hard to explain, but it seems like there really is something to it. It does seem important. And humanity has always deemed the spiritual as important. Even now in our modern age, religious institutions are incredibly wealthy, powerful, and influential bodies. And when you look back, these institutions were even more powerful and more influential than they are today. Human spirituality is an important thing, but it is an abstract thing, not easily comprehended, but obviously of interest. So if someone believes that they understand this abstract thing that is important, and you do not, this person may think that they are superior to you. I can go on about the many ills of organized religions and the horrifying nature of spiritual communities, the corruption, the manipulation of vulnerable populations. It's real and it's heartbreaking. But I believe that there's a lot we can learn outside of the framework of any single religious or spiritual institution. And learning these things can bring real clarity and real joy to our lives. But in order to do so, we'll have to confront another subject that we may very well hate. Another topic that brings us anxiety. Next week, math and spirituality have a lot in common. I said next week, but I meant tomorrow. Ah.